Hi everyone, welcome back. Very cheesy, very YouTuber. Anyways, so it's been about 3 weeks since I started dialysis, and as you can see, as I can see, the results are game changing. Like my face is so much slimmer, like it's not as puffy as it used to be. I even feel like the bags are starting to go away. I thought that was like hereditary or like going out too much or being sleep deprived and whatnot, but I mean, I guess, it all came on when I first got diagnosed. Also, when I started dialysis, I weighed 190. I currently weigh 155. So you can see that's like a huge weight loss. Like that's 34 pounds of fluid that I had on me that I was carrying around. Um, and when I first got diagnosed, I noticed that my weight went up about 7 to 10 pounds, depending. Like I normally weigh between like 150 and like 155, 54. And the last year I was like, why am I 160? Like why? Like, and my face looked like more chunky to me. Like, but now I see that was like the beginning stages of starting to retain fluid. And for anybody out there that is not having to go on dialysis like immediately, but maybe you have an edema and you're considering it, I definitely encourage you to do it. No, it's not the most comfortable situation, but it is life changing, life saving, total game changer. So when you go to dialysis, you are going to get weighed, with the least amount of clothing as possible. So if you have a sweater or jacket, you're going to take that off. You're going to get weighed, and they're going to take your weight in kilos and ounces. It's very important to get your exact weight so they know how to set the machine. So you're going to weigh, you're going to take a standing blood pressure, a sitting blood pressure, then you're going to get hooked up. So it's a tube, but it's like two tubes. One tube has the medicine that's going to clean out your blood, and the other tube is going to like filter your blood, I think. I hope I explained that correctly. But they're going to connect it to your catheter. My catheter is taped down, so can't really see it. It's like down here. So you'll tape it to there. Tubes will come across, depending on where you're sitting, where the machine is, and the machine's on this side or that side, and it will do its thing. So your first session is generally going to be about 2 hours. They're going to see how you do on it, if you get sick or uncomfortable, whatnot. And then your next session is 3 hours, and then it'll be 4 hours from then on. So, watch Netflix, Hulu, the whole thing, whatever. So you'll sit down. It's a recliner. You take a nap, whatever. I will definitely say I'm totally grateful for dialysis. As a formerly overweight person, I used to weigh 238. I am like a massive control freak when it comes to how I look. And just knowing that I had 40 extra pounds of fluid on me that I couldn't do anything about, it really freaked me out. It gave me like a mental anguish, like a definite toll on my mental health. And seeing myself now at what I should weigh has been so relieving. Like it's a definite comfort in this situation, which we had to find all the comfort that we can because this is not a good situation to be in. So with that being said, the staff is so nice and they try to be playful and jokey and they remember, things about you and whatnot. However, I am going to say this. For me personally, dialysis is incredibly depressing. It's an incredibly depressing place. You see people that have, are missing a leg or missing two legs, can't walk, are, in pain, are uncomfortable, are sick, don't feel good. And those could be for a multitude of reasons besides from dialysis. But being in the room with them, it's just sad. Like, it's bad vibes, So it's really important that you have an activity that, you can do, a series that you can catch up on, work, whatever. It's my understanding that prior to the COVID-19 crisis, you were able to bring a visitor in with you. However, with the pandemic, they're not allowing visitors, so that's kind of a bummer. So, maybe have your phone extra charged, get those FaceTime calls in, whatever. But when you walk in, you're going to get a weight, no extra clothing, no extra sweater or jacket. You're going to go do a standing blood pressure, a sitting blood pressure, and then depending on what your blood pressure is, if it's too high, they can't start you. If it's too low, they can't start you. They have to give you fluid. So, you got to really be diligent about your blood pressure. I am currently checking my blood pressure on the hour to see what it is, to manage it. Sorry, the TV's on. I'm like distracted. And I'll take enaphedipine as needed because my blood pressure does tend to run high. And I'm writing down the times that I take it, because if you take your medicine too close to dialysis, the dialysis process can definitely intensify the effects. So dialysis is what it's doing. It's like giving a kickstart to your heart, because your heart is already doing extra work because your kidneys are slacking. So dialysis is like helping your heart, but it's hard on your heart, you know? I hope I explained that correctly. But I mean, that's why everything has to be monitored, you know? I actually crashed last time because I took my medicine too close to therapy time, and I woke up. I was sleeping, and I was like soaking wet, and I was like, what happened? And I crashed, and I was like, oh my god, what am I supposed to do? Like, you know, and I felt like paralyzed, like I didn't know what to do. Luckily, the machine does monitor all those things, so it did alert, you know, the staff, and they came and they gave me fluid. But you know, you don't want to rely on that, because if the point is to remove fluid, like why would you want to have extra fluid added for something so simple? You know, you can monitor your blood pressure, you know, as needed. So when you sit down, the machines, really big machines, almost as tall as me, it's going to have 2 tubes. One is going to have the medicine. It's going to clean your blood. The other one, I think, filters your blood. I'm not positive, but gets connected to your catheter. Mine is taped down right now. And then the tubes will come across your chest, depending on what side the machine's on, and it will do its thing. And you will just sit there and, you know, 4 hours, and that is what it is. You can leave treatment early, at least with DaVita. They do allow you to leave treatment early. However, this is really important. Transplant teams are very, I would say, particular on the type of recipient that they want to work on. So they will call your dialysis center to see if you've been a good patient. Have you been on time? Have you missed treatments? Have you stayed the whole time? So I would definitely not encourage anyone to be late, to miss a treatment, or to cut a treatment short. And why would you want to do that? Like, you know, like your body needs help. Like, why wouldn't you help out your body? And luckily for me, with being on leave for the corona pandemic, I don't have nowhere to go. So I go 3 days a week, knowing that I have nowhere else to be. Like, that's my time commitment, you know? And why would you want your body to have those extra toxins, like one extra day? You know, you don't want that. You don't want to feel like even worse. So all that happens, I'm going to include a few clips of the center that I got, and I want to do like a more in-depth, like dialysis focused video, so you guys can see what the process is like. And then in my next video, I'm going to talk about at-home dialysis versus in-center dialysis, and the pros and cons of both, and why I chose the one that I chose. And I think that's all I wanted to say. I'm going to include some clips of what my body looks like now, so you can see the massive difference. And I am in a Facebook group for donors and recipients, and I have noticed a few people post that they don't necessarily need dialysis just yet, and that's great for them. However, if you have an edema, if you're in the stages where dialysis could help you, but maybe you don't necessarily need it, I would encourage you to go. Dialysis is definitely a life changer. It's a lifesaver. You know, that edema was so uncomfortable. I can't imagine like trying to do my daily work, like any kind of work. I don't know, whatever my job was, I couldn't imagine doing that. You know, it was just so uncomfortable, and not being able to breathe, you know, like only being able to be in certain positions, like that's so limiting, so restricting, you know, it's just awful. So I would definitely encourage anyone that is maybe on the fence about it to definitely try it. Like, I mean, it's only going to help you, it's not going to hurt you. You know, they have a lot of different times that you can go in, and the dialysis team is definitely willing to work with you and your schedule and everything. And you know, the sooner you tackle this issue, the better. Like, I really wish that I had been more proactive in this, or I had been encouraged to be more proactive in this and get these things started, because kidney transplant is a long process. Like, even if you have a donor ready and willing to go, like, it is a long process. So, you know, once you're diagnosed with kidney disease, I definitely encourage you to do your due diligence and, you know, figure out your game plan. So I'm going to include those clips. I hope this is helpful to you guys. And my next video, like I said, will be about in-home versus in-center dialysis, and why I chose the one I chose and the pros and cons of both. And I hope this video has been helpful to you. And please stay safe, make good choices, be well, and I'll see you in my next one. Hi everybody. I just got back from my 4th dialysis session. This dialysis session was just strictly to remove fluid. They didn't clean my blood or anything, but they said since I've been doing so good with the other sessions that I could come in for this extra session, because I had about 30 extra pounds of fluid on me and it was so miserable. I was like so uncomfortable. Like, I mean, I felt like a giant blob and I could like hardly walk or go up and down stairs or like lie in certain positions. It was miserable. So today we did an extra session just for that. Here's my catheter. It's healing nicer. I don't know if you can tell, but I definitely can see the difference, especially in my face. My face is not as bloated as it was before. This is bad. I'm a bad camera lady. But I mean, it's definitely a lot better. And then you can see like I'm not as wide as I was. This is my stomach now compared to how it was like in the first video. I mean, I seriously looked like I was pregnant. And like I said, like, no offense to the pregnant ladies, but I mean, that's not, you know, what my body normally looks like. And I was really swollen like in the back too. Not as much. I can't hold the shirt up. Not as much anymore. And I definitely feel lighter. Like, I can definitely tell the difference in just the way that I feel and the fact that I can breathe easier, because the fluid was like taking over my body, and I was like cutting off my airways, and I couldn't breathe. My legs had recently gotten most of the fluid and they were really bothering me. Like, I really couldn't even get out of the bathtub without help. Now I can bend my legs and everything. And here's my foot from last time. I mean, yeah, it's still kind of swollen, but it's a big improvement from what it was. The skin still feels tight, but it's a lot better than what it was, thank God. And I just want to say I really appreciate Alice's. Even I go and I don't know, to me, honestly, hold on a second. All right, as you can see, it's a huge difference in my weight and my size. Sorry, I'm the only camera person here. You know, before I had that huge edema here, and now it's flat like what I paid for it to be. Even my back is flatter, I feel like. My legs, it's a huge difference in my legs. You know, as you can see here, the ankles, you know, all that. So you can see my face too. Sorry, bad camera lady. It's a just huge difference overall. So you can see that. So I would definitely encourage anyone on the fence about getting dialysis to please give it a try. All it's going to do is help you in your situation, and you're just going to feel like huge relief for it. So consider it.